Anyway, Tulsi Gabbard analyzes. Okay, I want to hear Tulsi Gabbard
The Joe Rogan Experience.
on the Trump
I think they are doing,
indictments.
and by they, I mean
Dr. Evil.
Well, no, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. By they, I mean the Democrat elite that have vast control. It's not just the...
Dude, it's so fucking awesome that I have been right time and time again. I was right on Andrew Yang. So many motherfuckers yelled at me. I was right on crypto. So many motherfuckers yelled at me. I was right on NFT. So many motherfuckers yelled at me. And I was so right on Tulsi Gabbard from day one. And so many dumb motherfuckers yelled at me. Woo! Never forget.
President Biden or the Biden administration, it's the media, it's the politicized Department of Justice. They are doing the timing of all of these charges against Trump is not an accident. The fact that they want to hold multiple court hearings.
I love when Joe Rogan has left-leaning people on, like Tulsi Gabbard. Surely she'll speak about left-leaning issues, right?
For these charges, the day before Super Tuesday, which is a major turning point in any candidate's election. They want to kick off these court hearings the day before Super Tuesday. It's not an accident. This is all happening right now.
It's Banana Republic stuff.
It really is. And that's what they're doing is, again, these terrible things that are happening in our country are happening because we have people in power who care more about themselves and their power than they do about the people, this country, our Constitution, our democracy. They are setting this incredibly dangerous precedent that now, much like many banana republics in the world, whoever's in power has the ability to politicize and weaponize that power to go after their political opponent. That's the real. You take away whatever people think about Trump or whatever.
Right.
The consequences and implications of what is actually happening and what so many of the Democrat elite are justifying in the name of protecting democracy is actually destroying it.
And when you look at the charges, like when he gets indicted, where the day before there's a scandal, there's a chart of the revelations that have come about Biden.
Yeah.
And then day after Trump gets arraigned.
You guys got some power.
Trump gets indicted.
Right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just, the whole thing is just so...
So how much do we take?
I mean,
right?
what do we do? What can be done? What can be done? You know, I mean, I don't know at this point.
Well, I mean, it does. It starts with us. It starts with us as Americans taking our own responsibility seriously. You know, in the Constitution and Bill of Rights, it talks about our government exists with the consent of the governed.
Yeah.
That's us.
There
When it
is
says
more
we
of
the
us,
people, that's us.
But these guys, yeah.
Yeah, but then when you have things like the deep state, like they're in
there's
forever.
no question. There's no question that these powerful entities are very real, and they want nothing more than to hold on to their power.
But isn't it fascinating that that was not generally discussed before 2016? Before Trump got into office, that was not like a big concern that people had, like the CIA
Because
or the FBI
he's the
was
guy who
interfering.
broke through.
Right, right.
He's the. I mean, you know, you look at what the FBI and
There's nothing funnier to me than Tulsi Gabbard talking about the deep state when, like, she herself has worked alongside the CIA in Africa. It's like, what were you doing in Africa? What were you doing in Africa? Explain to me what you were doing, like, literally last month, okay? Like, how are you going to sit there and be like, yeah, the CIA is really fucked up, doing some fuck shit, dude? I don't get it. I mean, here it is.
You haven't heard much from me lately. I've been gone for the last 4 months, serving on an active duty tour and deployment to Africa as a civil affairs officer. I was supporting a special forces mission to go after al-Qaeda affiliated jihadists. Now, every single day, it was truly my honor to work with incredible patriots, experienced, focused warriors with an unwavering commitment to serve our country. We should never forget that, you know, no matter the decisions that the politicians make or the careerists in the Pentagon make, It is our men and women in uniform who selflessly and quietly defend the safety, security, and freedom of our country every day. Now, I haven't posted much since I was gone because I was asked not to talk about my going overseas.
Why? Seems awfully strange. Why? Also, you won't even mention which country. Very suspicious that she just says Africa and a special forces mission in Africa. Not a specific country, but just Africa.
Until my mission was complete. Al-Qaeda is very active where we were, and as someone who has a high profile, I would have been a prime target for the enemy, putting my life and the lives of my fellow service members and our mission in greater danger. Now I look forward to discussing the foreign and domestic issues.
Anyway.
And what the government was doing before that election even happened, to try to take him off the field, to try to eliminate him from being a choice that voters could seriously consider. You look at what the mainstream media, even Fox News, did at that time to try to make it so people didn't take him seriously. He's the guy that broke through. And so what did they do? Every single day of his presidency, and now for years beyond, they're continuing to try to make sure that he is not allowed to carry out, the things that he was talking.
Yo, but for real, why didn't they indict him earlier? I mean, depending on what case you're talking about, some of the things he did were after he was, done being president, like the classified documents that he held on to. So, like, you can't indict him for future crimes at that point. And secondly, as far as the January 6th Commission goes, at the federal level, again, these are investigations that had to be conducted, and it took a long-ass fucking time for them to come to fruition. You cannot indict a former president without doing your due diligence. You know what I mean? I just don't understand how people are looking at the situation and going, awfully suspicious, when, like, you have the fucking phone call. You know what I mean? You have co-conspirators. You have that are now co-defendants. You have phone calls. You have Donald Trump openly in public saying the things he wants. January 6th happened in a very public manner. A lot of people have gone to jail for their participation and their involvement during January 6th, which happened to also be tactically conducted alongside a process that Trump was actively trying to undermine and stop from happening in Congress. Now, it might have been a stupid ass fucking decision, like magically assuming that if the votes are not certified by Congress, that like you can just turn around and change the results with your false slate of electors. But, it was just not going to happen. But that doesn't change the reality that they still tried it. I don't know, man.
Talking about, and he is the guy who's, as you've talked about, he's the guy who talked very openly about the military-industrial complex and their power and the deep state and these entities.
It's odd for people to act like nobody talked about the CIA or the NSA before Donald Trump. It's like, maybe not you, dumbass, but like there's plenty of people who did talk about it on actual legitimate terms. Like, not because they were like participating in a Democrat-backed like pedophile conspiracy or whatever the fuck QAnon thinks. Anyway, let's hear what Bill Maher has to say about Trump's indictments in the 2024
The Joe
election.
Rogan Experience.
And so he just goes along with all the woke nonsense because he doesn't want to fight that wing of his party. He can't afford to have a battle on the left.
Yeah.
So that's my big issue with him. I know.
Yeah, I wonder why. Let's think. Why does Joe Biden not see a major reason as a fucking 800-year-old man? Why does Joe Biden and his team of advisors refuse to keep fucking harping on like trans people or whatever the fuck Bill wants them to talk about? Is it because he thinks that they are an incredibly viable and valid constituency that is going to go out and vote for him? No. Maybe he realizes that it is a fucking idiotic argument to make all the goddamn time, and that even the Joe Brandon team is aware that on economic issues, especially if they're at least channeling economic progress into their messaging, you know, some real left-wing shit, even if they have no intention of following through on it. And that's probably going to make a better campaign than actually we hate trans people too.
You have others.
Well, my biggest.
Why aren't you wearing a mask right now? Wait, what? Me? Or are you talking to Bill Maher, 29-month subscriber? Is this another fallen fan? What's happening? Oh, this is Reddit. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh, he had a 15-minute rant. I love that. Another fallen soldier after 29 months is like, why aren't you wearing a mask right now? Oh, he was making a joke. He was making a joke about fucking how I'm in a wildfire. Get it? Because like, no, because Mexico filter looks like I'm in a wildfire. You know what? I'm gonna put the American filter on. These goddamn hogs in America don't understand. Here, I'll put a color correction filter on so that people can actually be comfortable with the knowledge that, like, see? There you go. There you go. Now you can think that I'm in America where there is no orange tint, even though the orange tint is all around me right now. Mexico really does look like that. It's real. But now you can feel safe. You will get an inauthentic Mexico experience from me now. You fucked up. Anyway, let's hear what Bill Maher had to say about Donald Trump and Joe Brandon and shit.
Biggest issue is he lies a lot, and he's probably
Certainly not more than Trump.
Oh,
Please. Come
well,
on, man.
Listen, I think they both lie. I mean, I don't like that more than this guy. Because I want to just, if you want to talk about Trump, we could talk about Trump. But if you just talk about Biden, I don't think comparing him to Trump does anybody any good. You just look at the reason
it
situation.
does, because they're running against each other.
Yeah, okay.
So it's kind of necessary.
It could if you want to talk about in terms of an election, but you talk about in terms of the guy who's in office right now, like, why don't I like him? Well, one of the things that I don't like has nothing to do with any of his choices, is that he's mentally compromised. I think there's something wrong, and I think it's clear.
As if the other guy isn't.
Well, okay, he speaks much clearer. He might be crazy. He might be a sociopath.
He is crazy. He's
Okay,
crazy
Bill Maher
and
is such a
stupid.
Say all those things.
He's such an annoying, petulant little lib. He's not gonna let Joe get away with this because he's like a Sam Harris type. You know what I mean? He's like a Sam Harris type. He's just like you're like, he's so annoying, but he will still inevitably vote Democrat. You know what I mean? He's never voting he's not voting Donald Trump. No matter how much he's like, I don't know why they won't cut messaging around how trans people suck ass. Like, that's his single issue. Sam Harris' single issue is like killing all Muslims. Bill Maher's single issue is killing all trans people. You know what I mean? And this woke nonsense. I'm obviously exaggerating. Before you fucking yell at me, I don't mean literally, okay? Goddamn. Anyway, let's continue.
But it still doesn't take away from the fact that there's something wrong with Biden. Like, he makes up words, he stumbles through things. It seems like he doesn't know where he is half the time. He's very, very old. That's my problem with him.
Okay. Well, again, we're living in a world where perfect is not on the menu. These are the choices we're going to have. This is going to be who's running next time. You're going to have a doddering old man.
Do you definitely think that Biden's going to make it to the 2024 elections? Because I'm not convinced.
Well, who knows? Yeah, he might not, and so might not Trump.
Right. Both of them could die at any minute now.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you're like 70, whatever years old, 78 years old.
One is 77, one is 80.
Yeah, that's the end of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're on E.
I mean,
right? I mean, you might make it to town, but you might die on the side of the road. You're
There's
on
also blue zones where people live to 100.
They don't look.
Okay, I love this conversation because they're both so out of touch, and they're like smack dab in the center. One is more center right than the other. One is like a right winger now, and the other one is like center right. Okay, and they're just having, but they are, in the eyes of Americans, they are like the moderates. You know what I mean? In the eyes of like the average American voter, they are the center moderates for the most part. And it's so funny because they're also both incredibly old and out of touch now. And they're having such a fun conversation because like both of the candidates suck dick, but they're having this conversation on similar terms that I would have, but from a completely different perspective. Like one is like reluctantly kind of on board with Trump, and the other one is reluctantly kind of on board with Joe Biden. Okay, and you know, they're just sitting there and they're like, yeah, they suck, but like also this guy's like kind of better, right? I love it. Different perspectives, shocking. Yeah, I'm so scared about different perspectives. Oh no, I love. It's not that I fucking personally welcome and love different perspectives. No, you got me. Anyway, let's continue. 37 month subscriber. There's no way that
Like those
person's not
guys.
memeing.
No, they look better.
Yeah, they're thin and active, and
Well,
yeah,
Biden's thin.
that's true.
Trump is not.
But he's thin, like skeletal thin.
Yeah.
Like he's thin, like frail. Like
Yeah.
where he looks like
Look,
he's just going to fall down a lot.
I'll give you this point. Trump looks a lot and sounds a lot more hardy
Yeah.
and robust
Yeah.
and healthy.
Yeah.
That's true. He's a city roach. He eat the worst things he eats, the stronger he gets. You cannot kill him. No, I
He's
agree.
also the only guy that didn't noticeably age the moment he got into the
No,
White House.
we did. We aged when he was in office. He was fine. You're right. He didn't look like he aged. He always looks the same. But
I know
he's a criminal, and he's crazy, and he's stupid. And crazy and stupid are two different things.
When you say crazy, what do you base?
Okay,
that
let
on?
me give you an example. Stupid is like Frederick Douglass is alive, or the stealth bomber is literally invisible.
Right.
Or nobody knew health care was hard to solve. That's just stupid. He's very stupid. Crazy is like, it's important that the crowd at my inauguration was the biggest ever. And I'm going to make an issue of this for the first 2 weeks of my presidency, despite photographic evidence to the contrary. Or I'm going to steal these documents that I don't even know what they are, and I don't care, and I'm going to put them next to the toilet at Mar-a-Lago, and then I'm going to fight you to take them back.
I mean, he had a lot of cool shit too. Like people in the chat are pointing out, he wanted to nuke a tornado, which was awesome. He wanted to buy Greenland, which was pretty sick. Like, he was really cool on North Korea in general. I don't know why. He was just like personally fascinated with Kim Jong-il and like regularly defended him. What else? He had like a little rivalry. The Big Boy McDonald's night was fucking awesome. Oh, Kim Jong-un, not Kim Jong-il. God, I'm so fucking old. Oh my God. The COVID, defense against COVID is by injecting bleach. You can open up your body and put UV rays inside of your body. And you can also use bleach to like inject bleach somehow to eliminate COVID. There was a Reddit thread about you today. I learned that you are a North Korea supporter. I mean, every day there's a new me. He looked directly at an eclipse after being told not to and pointed at it like it was neato. That was cool. He never said the bleach thing. He just wondered it out loud at a press conference. He didn't tell people to do it. Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, okay. That's still awesome. Yeah. Okay. He just wondered out loud whether you can use bleach to kill COVID at a press conference for COVID protocols as the president of the United States of America. Yeah, a famous person can naturally wonder out loud if you should drink bleach. I mean, he wasn't just a famous person. Guys, he was the president delivering a press conference to the entire nation on COVID protocols. Like what to do to defend against COVID. It's like an entirely different context that makes still an identically hilarious story, but like, you know, very different than just like randomly walking down the street.
Or not conceding the election. Those things are crazy. Or thinking I can somehow charm Kim Jong-un in Korea, although that might be stupid. Sometimes it crosses the line between both. But he's both stupid and crazy, and he's a criminal.
See, he's like posting his dubs now.
You know, he's not being charged in these trials because he's a liar. They purposely didn't do that. Apparently it's okay. It's not illegal to lie to the American people. And of course, he did lie and continues to lie. He still hasn't conceded the election, which he plainly lost. He's charged with actual crimes. criminal intent to obscure, I forget what the actual name of the law is, but criminal intent to basically steal the election or to coerce people in the states from, I forget what it is. And then there's one forgery.
He sounds old too, to be fair.
Which has to do with the electors scheme, criminal intent for.
What is the forgery?
That's the slate of electors he was putting forward, the fake slate of electors, and then there was the one.
Here it is. We can read it. 3 counts of solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. So he's trying to get someone to violate their oath. 2 counts of conspiracy
Hold that
to
shit
commit
up,
forgery
Jamie.
in the first
Jamie
degree.
Jameson.
2 counts of conspiracy to commit false statements and writing. 2 counts of false statements and writings. Violation of a Georgia RICO Act. Conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer. Wonder what that is. Conspiracy to commit filing false documents and filing false documents. Then this is all based on the election results.
Well, there's also felony solicitation of violation of oath. Felony solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer. That was what when he was talking to Ratzenberger. That's the I need you to find me 11,000 votes. There's also one. I mean, there's two cases about trying to steal the election. One, the national case that Jack Smith is prosecuting, and then there's the one in Georgia. Now, they cross paths in a lot. But basically, I mean, yes, he tried every possible way to steal this election. He tried to do it through the courts. He tried to do it through state legislatures. He tried to do it through intimidating Mike Pence. He tried to do it through the Justice Department. They talked about seizing voting machines. They talked about using the army. I mean, you can't really believe that this guy is not worse than Joe Biden. I mean, I agree. Biden is not a great president. And the Hunter Biden stuff is a stinky conspiracy, not a conspiracy, a stinky scandal that stinks to the high heavens. If you think that in any way compares to what Trump tried to do, you just cannot tell unlike things apart.
And you're saying this just based on what happened after the election? Just that stuff?
Yes. Well, that's the criminal part, yes.
Have you ever tried to steel man his position? Like, do you think he really believes they stole the election, or do you think he's bullshitting?
Who gives a fuck? It doesn't matter.
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck if he really believes it?
But I mean, if he really believes there's evidence that the election was rigged.
No, I don't care. No, first of all, that was part of the January 6th committee's findings. He has multiple people, all the people around him told him that he lost that election, including Bill Barr, you know, and he admitted, one of his quotes was that they have on record of him saying, I don't want people to know I lost this election.
That's kind of crazy.
Well, he's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's insane that you can't let go of the idea that you can't be seen as a loser. There's a certain, I always said this in the beginning, it all comes back to, he is a clinical case of malignant narcissism. It's not just...
Literally, the only take that gives him lib cred is being vehemently anti-Trump. He's like a far-right groper on almost every other issue now. Yeah. It's a very weird place to be in. Mentally, intellectually, unless you realize that like a big chunk of why he believes the things he believes about Donald Trump is the civility shit. Like Trump is a routine violator of civility. All the reasons why I like Trump, he hates Trump for it. Like he despises Trump for that. Because if you're Bill Maher, the system has worked well for you your entire fucking life. You're super wealthy. You have a show that is never going away regardless of how many people watch it, seemingly. You can say whatever the fuck you want without real scrutiny. You know what I mean? You can just endlessly pontificate on, what the real problem in society is these fucking kids with their gender nonsense. You know what I mean? But ultimately, Donald Trump is I mean, yeah, he is just a Lincoln Project Republican, Bill Maher at this point. But, like, not really. He still votes liberal. I don't think he would vote for Ron DeSantis. I think he still hates the Republican Party. He has old school grievances for the Republican Party from, like, just like Sam Harris. He has old school grievances towards the Republican Party in spite of the reality that they have a lot in common. I don't think he would vote for. I don't think he would vote for like a fucking Republican. I don't think he would do that. I think there's too much baggage there, and I do think that yes, Bougie is right. He thinks Republicans are crazy Christians. I mean, which they are. I don't know, but I think that mostly the reason why he hates Donald Trump is because Donald Trump is a regular violator of civility. Maher seems like he'd be anti-Obama. No, I don't think he was anti-Obama. I think he was pro-Obama. If anything, mostly he would hate like maybe Obama's like policies on Muslims or whatever, but he's definitely gotten more and more reactionary over the years. But I don't think he's still. I think he's still a petulant elitist lib.
Just a quirk. It's actually in the big book of crazy, you know, that.
Right.
I mean, it's a real thing. And it affects everything he thinks and does. It's why foreign leaders were able to curry favor with him. All they had to do was kiss his ass and they got whatever they wanted. Do I really think that he wants to help Russia and Putin?
I think he loves Biden, probably. I would suspect that he loves Biden's style of politics. Just like everything is normal, everything's above board, things are back to normal, things are happening in the same way that they're supposed to. Not a lot of, id Paul, which is fine. It's not necessarily a bad thing in general. I don't know. I haven't watched enough of old Bilbo here in recent years, so I don't know.
Putin, I think Putin had him as soon as he said Trump is a brilliant man. Good, you got me. It doesn't take that much. He's a dangerous guy. The idea that he could be president again, as opposed to Joe Biden, again, Joe Biden, not my first choice, not my 100th choice, but the other guy is a crazy, stupid criminal.
Bill Maher and obesity being treated.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
But
Yeah, what the fuck is Weeby? Where is the fuck is Weeby right now? We're watching his favorite. We're watching his favorite right now. We're watching his fave. Where the fuck is he?
But fat is fat, and it's not. It's just not healthy. Even if you find it beautiful or sexy or whatever you want, it's just science. It's bad for literally every part of your health, from how you poop to your eyesight. There's nothing that obesity doesn't affect negatively.
you know who doesn't get any of that body positivity shit, though, is men. Nobody gives a fuck about men. If men are fat, you're just fat. That's like when James Corden.
Damn, he's not wrong, bro. Wait, what? He's kind of wait. Joe Rogan, another like weird moment of clarity where he's just like, yeah, nobody gives a shit when dudes are fucking fat for the most part.
Try that shit with you.
Yes.
Yeah, it was such an obvious ploy. Oh, you're hurting my feelings,
Yes.
Bill.
Oh, yes.
Fat shaming. First of all, that guy's fat from food. He's not like, oh my
No.
God, he's got a genetic disorder. He's just, that guy's obviously not working out and living a good life, eating some nice food,
And
a little plump.
yeah. And
Fixable.
Interesting, and interesting. A year or so after he made his big crusade against me, he signed a big contract, I think, with Weight Watchers. You know, he turned right around. But even Weight Watchers is out of style because now we've given up on the idea that obesity is something that can be contained by exercise and diet. It's now a disease. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Wait, what? That's not a bad thing, dumbass. What the fuck do you mean? It's not even correct. But also, even then, wait, is he anti-Ozempic? I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Being anti-Ozempic for like the reasons where I am very skeptical of it is one thing. I'm skeptical because I know that if you stop taking it, you're gonna fucking yo-yo back. It's not even a yo-yo. You get way, way, way fatter than you previously were. Okay? And that's kind of terrifying. There's also the thyroid issues that come along with it. Yeah, Ozempic is a garbage drug. It says withdrawal issues like really bad. Exactly. But having said that, okay, it's still kind of fucking nutty to look at the treating obesity as an epidemic or an addiction or a disease in general is ultimately a bad thing. It's a drug. Why would you take a drug for weight loss? It says gum jet enema. It's a drug that stops. It's an appetite suppressant. It is used as an appetite suppressant. Ozempic is a great drug if you're diabetic. Let's not hate too hard. I mean, yeah, there's also that too. But I'm talking about taking it specifically for, I mean, there's still the thyroid issues. And also, if you're diabetic, you have to take it anyway. Yeah, the gum guy is the guy who thinks I have a parasite in me since I was 6 years old. That's why I bite my nails.
These new drugs they have.
Ozempic. And
Ozempic.
like yeah.
I was reading about Ozempic. I didn't know this until recently. They have zero clue why it works. They know that it works, just not why. This would bother me a little, you know.
It should.
That if they're giving me something and they're like,
they're looking at Ozempic and Wegovy, same shit, different dosage for treating addiction, which actually could be sick. Obese people do it to themselves willingly and knowingly. If you don't acknowledge this truth, I got some news for you. Brother, I've lost more weight and gained more weight in my entire life than you and your fucking fat ass family combined. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything about fucking weight loss. You don't know anything about obesity. If you think that it's just like, people do it to themselves willingly and knowingly, you dumb bitch. You literally don't even have object permanence. And you come into this fucking community thinking you know a thing or two about fucking obesity and how it happens. There are so many things that happen in your day in life that you have no way of comprehending. How dare you? Why do you think it magically doesn't happen in other countries where, I don't know, there are more walkable cities or their dietary habits and their consumption is better? Okay? Blessed the day Hassan has attacked me. What a blessing. I attack not you, but I attack stupid ideas. So do not think that this is a moment that you have in the spotlight because you have gotten a rise out of me. Gotten a rise out of me because of how fucking stupid your take is. Okay? Every single thing that we do and experience happens not due to nature for the most part, but nature can play a significant role, but a lot of nurture is involved in it. It's social conditioning. When you say Americans are fat because they're just stupid and fat, you fail to comprehend why so many people are obese in this fucking country. Our car-reliant infrastructure, our dietary habits that are backed by government subsidies that turn back into government lobbying dollars, a deregulation of the FDA. It is so fucking stupid. I like how our different experiences in life give us different perspectives, and then we get this discourse. Man, don't try to fucking discourse your way out of this. Your opinion is wrong. It is completely incorrect. And I'm giving you the tools to be able to think beyond your horse blinders. Okay? That's it. It's not just, people are actively eating a lot, and that's why they're getting fat. That is so incredibly reductive. If that was the fucking case, then why the fuck isn't every single person on the planet obese as shit? Why? Perhaps some systemic faults are at play here. Okay? Everyone thinks couldn't be me until it is. You never know when you might get depressed or hurt or anything. It's not always a choice. It's such an individual mindset thing. It's also beyond that as well. It's beyond getting sick and like being fucking bedridden and not being able to move, not being able to be mobile. There's also so many issues, so many systemic factors at play with respect to people's dietary habits, okay? Dietary choices, dietary habits. Yes, ultimately, at the end of the fucking day, the easiest, most effective way to lose weight is to not eat that much, okay? Anyway, I'm currently participating in a research study on Ozempic effects on cognitive symptoms of depression, although I think I'm in the placebo group. Jesus.
okay, this new miracle pill, just take it. We're working on the reason why it might do this to you, but until then, just fuck it.
There's no biological free lunch either. I have friends that are on that stuff, and one friend who just got off of it because he was having some serious gastrointestinal issues that are apparently one of the side effects.
Yeah.
There's no free lunch. If you're taking an injection that makes you less hungry, something's going on. That's probably not good.
Yes.
And you're also losing a lot of connective tissue, bone mass, and muscle mass. My good friend Peter Attia did a study on his patients. He's a doctor, did a study on patients that took Ozempic, and one of the things that they found is they lost weight, but they gained fat. They were actually had a higher percentage of body fat because they were primarily losing muscle tissue and connective tissue. They were losing so much of that even though they lost like 20 pounds, they actually went from like 15% body fat to maybe 20% body fat or whatever the number was.
But what I find the most alarming is the way, in just a matter of a few years, the group think that this is a disease now that cannot be controlled by what for 50, 100, a million years before this, it was the scientific consensus that, of course, you can control it with diet and exercise. It just...
What the fuck are you talking about? Literally, like 50 years ago, they were hawking meth at housewives to lose weight. Shut the fuck up. Like, come on, dude. Like, we talk about medicine as though it's an unchanging principle. Like, what the fuck do you mean, dog? Literally, housewives were getting fucking meth, like in the 50s and 60s, like actual meth to lose weight. I'd say Ozempic probably is a little bit better than fucking meth. What the fuck? And also, the other part of the problem is like, the other part of the problem when you think about obesity and all this shit that is genuinely frustrating is that, once again, our dietary choices are not up to us as much as we think they are. There are so many people that are fat as fuck that just live in food deserts. And what are they supposed to do in that situation? There's no like short bus trip that they can take to go and fucking get healthy food options. Healthy food options are more expensive. They're far away. They're not as accessible. Very frustrating for people to just be like, just stop eating, dude. Just stop eating. And then there's a fucking drug that comes out that like literally helps you stop eating. And you're like, I don't really like that. It's like, what do you want? What do you want these people to do? Just fucking die in shame? Like, what do you want? Whenever people like Bill Maher or Joe Rogan talk about like fat people, they always talk about fat people as though they're not humans. You know what I mean? Like they're just this other entity that are demonstrating their moral failings every day, and they should just fucking kill themselves, and then the world would be better. It's like, dog, like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like, what do you want them to do? It's like yelling at fucking Lizzo for appearing in a commercial where she's wearing like yoga pants and doing like actual activities. You know what I mean? Like a fitness commercial. It's like fat people can't even fucking go into the gym to better themselves like you said you wanted them to do. The fuck is this? It's like, I want them to lose weight, but I don't want them to lose weight that way. It's like, well, fuck you. Why? Why is it up to you, dumbass? Like, you drink a shit ton of alcohol. You don't hear me fucking complaining about it. You goddamn lush. Shut the fuck up. You got genetically lucky in this situation. You got genetically lucky. You're also rich, so you can continue on with your like dietary choices and habits, and it doesn't end up impacting your health that much. He's a pothead, I think. No, he's also a lush too. He definitely drinks a lot of alcohol. If I'm not, I'm pretty sure he does. Anyway.
In a couple of years, that went out the window, and you cannot find an article on the front page or in the op-ed page of the New York Times in the last couple of years that has any other belief than this one, that it is a disease.
So the real issue here is that you should be scared that Big Pharma is just like pumping this product, like just shilling it, just hawking it like it's some miracle fucking drug, while also not really talking about the side effects all that much. That's what's actually a little scary to me, at least. Okay? Anyway.
It is not within a person's control. So they're all in on Ozempic or whatever else because we certainly can't leave this to people themselves to control it. That's a giant sea change. And the way they sheep-like just go right in a row.
Yeah.
no dissent. Not one person standing up in the paper of record to say, wait a second, this can't really be the case. I mean, 50 years ago, we looked like a completely different people.
Yeah.
Why is it the case? In 50 years, did we evolve? In 50 years, human beings? Was cake not delicious in 1969? I think it was. And yet somehow people resisted it.
Well, there's a lot of diet changes for sure. And I think one of the things about the narrative, there was a lot of influence by...
It's so funny. It's like, well, one, a lot of people smoke cigarettes, but like, I mean, let's see. Like 50 years ago, America was like way, way better, right? Okay. Now, obviously, our life expectancy is not looking too hot due to, you know, all the factors that I've mentioned time and time again in comparison to other nations. But like, it was 68 years in 1950. Okay? 68. Our life expectancy's gone up, dumbass. The fuck do you mean? And it's dropped again due to COVID and also due to, you know, awful access to healthcare. Your biggest factor is healthcare more than obesity for USA. It's so odd that he's like, no, man, we were doing so much better, dude. He would say because of medical advances. Yeah, no shit, dog. While he's shitting with one hand on medical advances. What do you mean? Of course, medical advances play a fucking major role in people's life expectancy going up. 50 years ago, there was typically a spouse that would cook for you, which would cause less impulsive fast food eating. No, I think that overall, people's circumstances, their free time, their benefits, even their fucking healthcare, even if medical technology wasn't necessarily as good as it is today, their access to medicine was probably a little bit better due to the benefits package that they had, due to the amount of money that they had, due to the amount of free time that they had overall. And that wasn't obviously for every single person, but certainly for this robust middle class that was growing. But even then, it doesn't matter because obviously there were a tremendous amount of fucking healthcare failures even back then. America wasn't as obese, certainly. Okay? America certainly wasn't as obese. However, they were still dying. They were dying due to alcohol. They were dying due to fucking tobacco, cigarettes. Sure, our food wasn't as pumped with high fructose corn syrup, you know? Anyway, let's keep going.
Vested interests. Like, you know, I'm sure you know about the 1950s, I believe it was, where the sugar industry paid off scientists.
Of course.
To,
Yes.
to put the blame on saturated fat, and it changed people's eating.
And corn.
Corn
They changed what the sugar came from because they had too much corn because they subsidized it.
Yeah.
So let's make sugar out of corn, which is not really what you should be making.
Right.
I mean, cane sugar is not great for you either, but it's better than corn. You see the obesity rates go up as corn syrup. But it's still within someone's power to turn it down. You're not helpless.
There's plenty of people.
How? Point to a singular fucking piece of food that hasn't touched corn subsidies. Like, what do you mean? If all matter of food has fucking corn, high fructose corn syrup or some kind of corn product in it, what do you mean? How is it so easy to just like avoid it? Like the top of the hour ad break is easy to avoid. You know what I mean? It's not that easy, especially if you're poor, especially if you are living in a food desert, especially if there is no education on food choices. It's so stupid that people are just like, oh, I don't get it. Why don't you just like put the fucking... Why don't you put the donuts down, fatty, is not necessarily good as far as arguments goes. As far as a comprehensive healthcare plan goes, you know? Now put the fudge rounds down. Anyway, put the fudge rounds down and spend $5 or your Twitch Prime on here to avoid the ad breaks at the top of the fucking hour. When there is a 3-minute ad break at the top of the fucking hour. You can also get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Just shows how out of touch these old fucks are. Like how long ago they bought their own groceries while paying 50% of their paycheck for rent. Yeah, I mean, it's not happening. Meanwhile, Here's one thing that could actually help people. We're going to talk about that in a second after this one is over. Joe Rogan hates 15-minute cities, apparently. We're going to get to that in a second.
People out there that have done it too that you can get examples from. I mean, especially in this day and age with YouTube and these social media influencers that have lost a ton of weight, some of those people have gone on diets and lost 150 pounds, and they'll tell you how they did it. And
Right.
you can get inspiration from them.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, it's doable, but it's not easy. And the idea of calling it a disease, it's interesting because we kind of agree alcoholism is a disease, but it is similar. Because you are addicted to food. Like, people are absolutely
Look at him. He's arriving at it. He's literally arriving at the correct point. He even knows the corn subsidy talking point. It's like, why are you having this back and forth? You have to just straight up hate fat people. I think that's what it is. Like, they know the problems. They understand the role that, like, social conditioning and our structures have played in creating this, like, actual epidemic. They understand that, like, utilizing the addiction narrative is actually a better one, or a disease narrative is actually a better one. Okay? And yet, after all that, they're still 5 minutes into just talking about how, like, well, you know, but fat people still suck though, right? Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, and they should just put the fucking, you know, food down, fatty. Okay, got it. Thanks, man. It's like, why did you have that conversation then? Why didn't you just talk about this in the beginning of the conversation and fucking move on?
addicted to food.
Also, like, if you recognize the addiction component, you recognize how much money people spend on making sure that that shit is hella addictive. It's like billions of dollars being fucking implemented to poison you in that regard.
Especially high fructose corn syrup products and things where there's like, you're getting that big sugar rush and the insulin spikes. And
well, they do this in the lab, you know. I mean, they have all these food companies. All these food companies have labs where they go in and they test how much fat and sugar and salt we can put in this thing to make it as addictive as possible. You know, they don't want you to just eat one, that old Lay's potato. You bet you can't eat. They want you to have the whole bag and then start another bag.
yeah.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
I think they are
Sorry, we're not rerunning this, obviously. My food came. My room service. What the fuck? Why does the video cannot be played? Wait, what? Hello? Oh, it can be. Okay, good.
Cities, right?
Yeah, tell me about those. I don't know much about them.
The idea is that you'll essentially
That's what
be
this city
contained.
is. That's what this city is. But
You'll essentially be contained
Oh, yeah.
unless you
Let's
get permission to leave.
that's true? How
Which
are
is-
they going
that's
to put us in there?
The idea they're starting to roll out in Europe. They're
okay.
talking about. I think they've already implemented this somewhere.
Well, you would
But
think. Well, I'm just thinking about Lahaina when you're talking about this, because you would think, well, how are they going to put us on that land of these 15-minute cities? But then you would think, well, how are they going to get us off our land? But they just have. In Lahaina, they just got these people off their land, and if you go,
Well, they're talking about it. They haven't done it
no,
yet.
no, no. I mean, they cannot go on their land now because
Right.
there's a 80-year-old fella, and he wants his house burned down, and his safe is in there, and he wants to go check on his safe, but he can't get in. He can't get in the property. Our whole lives, we've cleaned it up thousands of times, put it in trash bags. It was on the ceilings before when we were kids, that white stuff.
Yeah.
And
Like
now
little
nobody
balls
can.
on
I haven't heard of anybody with asbestos. I mean,
Well,
but
they
I could be
removed
wrong.
it.
I just don't know who it is.
People
you know?
got cancer from it for sure. Yeah, it's very, very cancer causing. Very
Yeah,
good.
we literally used to play in that stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, they
we
used to-
whacked it off the
yeah.
roof and
Not good,
all
though.
that.
But that's
you
not
know,
good.
and we're still here.
Well,
though.
listen, there was lead paint in people's houses. They had to remove that too because it was lowering kids' IQs. What are those 15-minute cities?
I'm curious
What are
about
the
that.
plans for these fucking things?
I've heard of it, but as I look it up, there's an article from Canada that says it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory. that's
Canada's a
been
conspiracy
adopted.
theory. Canada's literally a functioning conspiracy theory.
It's just a concept to bring things to within 15 people.
Right, but isn't there something going on, a 15-minute city that they tried in the UK? Isn't there something along those lines? Just Google that. 15-minute city in UK.
But I mean, what do you want me? I don't
Just
know what I'm
see what
looking
it.
for.
Just Google that. 15-minute city.
This is
in
my
UK.
favorite.
15-minute city.
This is my favorite fucking Joe Rogan moment, okay? Objectively a good thing, and he's literally just like, objectively a good thing. he has to immediately be a dumb fuck and shit on it like it's a bad thing. Okay? Jamie goes, hey, that seems like a conspiracy theory. Here, it looks like it's a good thing. And you're just like kind of, you got duped by some conspiracy theories. No, find the article where it doesn't say it's a conspiracy theory. Find me an article now that actually says this is a bad thing. Right now, Jamie, do it. People are so fucking dumb. The 50-minute city thing is like just genuinely a good thing. I'm shocked that people are still shitting on it.
You're a smart guy.
Electric city or something, right?
Well,
I mean, they've talked about walkable communities for a long
don't know
time.
exactly.
15-minute hysteria.
That's from March.
Rather benign urban planning concept. Yeah. English city of Oxford. Click that. Yeah. Okay. An academic behind the hit urban... The hit. It's a hit, guys. It's like fucking Saturday Night Fever. It's a hit. The hit urban planning concept slammed flat earthers spreading fake news about livable cities. Oh, yeah, you're a flat
Blame
earther
the flat
if you don't
earthers.
want to be trapped in a 15-minute city.
Where's Kelly Slater when you need him?
Wait,
So
where's
scroll
the
down
trap?
Here. Is Kelly Slater a flat earther?
He jokes.
Where's the fucking trap? What is trapping you in the city? Where's the trap, you fucking dumbass? You just made that part up. You literally made that part up. No one is doing that. No one is saying that. The only thing you're trapped in is the prison of your own mind, you fucking asshole. That's it. You're trapped in there because there's nothing going on.
Around. He just torches people all the time.
So a rather benign urban planning concept is shaking up the English city of Oxford, sending thousands of people into the streets to protest what they say is a dystopian plan to take away their personal freedoms and lock them into their neighborhoods. The concept of the 15-minute city, popularized by the Franco-Colombian academic Carlos Moreno, aims to make cities more livable by ensuring that all essential services, think schools, medical care, and shops, are within the distance of a short walk or bicycle ride. Broadly, the idea is to cut down on long commutes and car emissions.
Yeah, exactly. This is the mind of an American ape, okay? Oh, sounds really good, but what's the catch? I bet you're going to do gay government communism to me in the 15 minutes that it takes me to fucking walk to the grocery store. Fuck you. And it's like, listen, you fucking dumb ape. You live in Texas. You literally live in the exact opposite of a 15-minute city as a concept. And there is 0% chance that your dumbass ape mind doesn't go bananas mode every time you're in your fucking Porsche 911 on the fucking freeway and you're going, how the fuck is this 16-lane fucking freeway so slammed to the fucking gills with traffic every fucking day? Worse of all, he literally came from another fucking anti-15-minute city place, Los Angeles, California, okay? Both of these states and both of these cities, Austin, Texas, and Los Angeles, California, have 16-lane highways where there is bumper-to-bumper traffic all the fucking time. And that is specifically because of the anti-15-minute city style mentality for these dumb fucking apes. Fuck. It's like living in a fucking caveman era, okay? And there's like constant fucking elements that you have to brave. And one guy goes, hey, why don't we live inside the cave when it's raining outside? And Joe's like, I don't know. How about we don't be gay like that? How about we just fucking stay out here? What's the catch, dumbass? It's literally like that. It's just like, it blows my fucking mind. It's like, nah, dude, fuck you, idiot. Bitch, you want me to do gay stuff in the cave? Fuck you. Nah, I'm not gonna get in your trap, dude. Shelter? Pff, that's pussy shit.
And improve people's quality of life, ensuring they have access to quality services where they live. It's not the way it's being seen. In Oxford, news of the city council adopted a plan to embrace the 15-minute city model, prompted fierce backlash with local groups and public figures alleging that authorities plan to restrict residents to their immediate neighborhoods and strictly police their movements, which will happen eventually.
Why?
The idea that that won't...
Why? Why would it happen? Why? Why? What is the benefit of it? Your movement is quite literally fucking restricted right now, idiot. It's restricted to a car that you spend hours inside of It makes me so mad when people just go, oh, well, how about this other completely made up thing will happen? Like, they can just restrict you right now, dumbass, if they want to. Car lobbyists with the easiest PSYOP of all time. Bro, these guys are the PSYOP themselves now. We've moved beyond the PSYOP. It's permanent. It's like seeing Gen Z TikTokers, black Gen Z TikTokers talking about how MLK was unfaithful to his wife. You know what I mean? It's like, the FBI was trying to get people to say that, right? Like, they were trying, and you're just doing it to yourself now. Like, you are self-inflicting the FBI psyops from, like, decades ago. It's just, we don't even need that anymore. We don't need anybody to do the psyop. We're psyoping ourselves.
Won't happen eventually, particularly in the case of a pandemic or something where they can control people. That this is not a fucking conspiracy theory. The outrage has been fanned by popular right-wing media figures and politicians who seized on the issue as an outrageous example of government overreach. If they do limit people to those places, that is exactly what people are terrified of. If they embrace this concept and create this model and then somehow or another mandate that you stay inside that.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrifying.
Which in the age of the COVID lockdowns is not out. There's no surprise that people are.
Well, you just buy
They're so stupid. They just have to say this, right? Please. This is not a conspiracy. Immediately follows the basis of conspiracy. It's like, dude, what you're describing can already happen, you fucking idiot. Because what you're describing is an entirely separate thing. But you called it?
Your little marching is causing a lot of damage, Martin. This movement is not going to stop regardless. It's bigger than you guys. I'll never quit. It's funny you say that. I think we might have something that'll change your mind a little bit. It doesn't matter what you show me. Nothing will make me stop what I'm doing right now.
Please, why are you showing me this? I don't want to even look at this.
Guys calling the people that are talking about it flat earthers. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
But
No, they're
it's
not.
a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah. It's interesting.
it makes you think.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder.
It does make you
Yeah. Yeah, which I will not do. You will not make me. I will never think. It makes you think is all I will say. I will refuse to think. You can't make me. Thinking is gay and communism. Makes you think, but it doesn't make me think. You want to know why? Because I don't think. I'm Joe Rogan. I'm not paid to think. I'm paid to fucking thump my chest like a baboon. Fuck. He's so insanely stupid, like unimaginably stupid. God, the 50-minute city thing pisses me off the most, I think, because it is such an objectively good thing. And they're like, I don't know.